Hello, welcome to the channel. In today's service video, we're going to be doing an oil change on my personal vehicle. This is a 2015 Ford Fusion Titanium with the 2-liter EcoBoost engine. All right, we've got the vehicle positioned in the bay. First thing we're going to do is check the oil level. To do that, we let the vehicle run for about 5 minutes, shut it off, and wait about a minute or two, and then check the oil level. So we'll go ahead and do that. It's always good to do that to see how much oil the vehicle has used or lost over the course of the oil service. Just remove the dipstick, wipe it clean, and then reinsert it. All right, so this vehicle looks like it's about maybe just about half a quart low. I don't know if you can see that. This vehicle has gone about 12,000 miles since the last oil change. I use Amsoil Signature Series on this vehicle, which allows me to go that kind of mileage without any sort of issues. As you can see, 12,000 miles and it used half a quart of oil. That's pretty good, especially for a vehicle that has almost 130,000 miles on it, and I've been doing these extended drain intervals, 10 to 15,000 miles on the vehicle since I've owned it, and I started owning it at 37,000. So it's pretty remarkable. The oil does claim that it can go up to 15,000 miles between oil changes. So that right there shows that it can do it. I've also had the oil sent off for analysis to further the claim there. And it came back solid. All right, so we get the vehicle up on the lift now. You access both the oil filter and the drain plug from the bottom. The first thing you got to do is remove this underbody shield right here. It's held in by numerous 10mm screws all around the outside of it. Next, we're going to remove the oil filter. It's located in the front side of the engine, right where the charge pipe is, straight up. Got our drain bucket. That's what we're going to do. Go ahead and grab the filter and let the oil spin, or let the oil come down and drain out of it. Once the oil slows down, you can go ahead and just grab a rag and finish the job. Important thing that you'll want to note here is that the old filter has the rubber gasket still installed and it's not stuck up on the engine oil filter adapter. Alright, we've got our new filter here. We've got the Amsoil EA15K51 filter. The 15K meaning 15,000 mile oil service interval. I'm going to take some of this old oil and just lubricate the rubber seal. And then line it up and make sure it spins on. It should spin on very easily. If it does not, then stop and try again. Once the filter bottoms out with the engine, then you can go ahead and give it another 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. Then take a shop towel and just wipe down the area of all the oil residue. That way, if anything starts leaking, you can identify it and know that it was not there. And that completes the oil filter replacement. Now we'll go ahead and move on to draining the engine oil. We've already got our drain bucket. The drain plug is located on the back side of the engine. Simply take a 15mm wrench, break it free, and position your drain bucket. Spin it out. May have to raise the drain bucket in order to make sure you don't spill any or get any all over the place. Be careful what you have resting in the drain bucket, as if the oil comes down on it, it could cause it to splatter. Just going to let it drain for a few minutes. Meanwhile, we can go ahead and look on the bottom side of the vehicle, check the suspension, tires, exhaust. Nothing really to see on this one. I wasn't expecting anything. The vehicle's been pretty reliable. Again, it has almost 130,000 miles on it, and other than maintenance items, I've spent $20 on a part that needed replaced, and that was the fuel tank purge valve. Other than that, nothing. Just wear and tear items, fluids, filters, tires, brakes. All right, we're at the point where we can reinstall the drain plug once the oil gets to this very slow, inconsistent drip. Just take the drain plug and reinsert it by hand. You can thread it all the way down by hand. Once it bottoms out, you just grab your wrench and snug it down. It doesn't have to be super tight. You definitely want to make sure it's not going to come loose on you. Take a rag, wipe up your excess, And then I always like to take a little bit of brake clean. Spray down the areas to get all the extra residue off. Next, we'll go ahead and reinstall the skid plate. All right, got our skid plate here. Just simply go ahead and line it up on a couple of the holes. Take some of your screws and start them by hand. Definitely, if you have a drill, makes this process a lot quicker and easier. I don't have my drill with me right now. Once you got the screws started, you can go ahead and take your 10mm socket and just tighten them down and install the other ones. Be careful not to over tighten these, as they are only going into plastic anchor points. So you can strip them out. And it's not like the skid plate is super heavy either. It's literally just a fibrous, almost like cardboard. So they don't need to be super tight. Just flush with the subframe. And that completes the skid plate installation. We're ready to lower the vehicle and add the oil. All right, now we've got the vehicle back down on the ground. Go ahead and add the engine oil. First, grab your funnel, insert it into the oil fill hole. Oil we're going to be using today is the Amsoil Signature Series, as I mentioned before, 5W30. This oil is good for 1 year or 15,000 miles on a turbocharged application, which this is. This vehicle takes 5.7 quarts. Go ahead and add the engine oil. One of the other benefits to using Amsoil, other than the extended drain intervals, which are very convenient, only having to bring your vehicle in, one time per year for an oil change, which I know doesn't sound like too much of an inconvenience, but when you add in the cost of each oil change, this is fully synthetic oil. If you were to take your vehicle to a dealership or an aftermarket shop for a full synthetic oil change, let's just say that it runs you, $40. out the door: filter, oil, and labor, which is a pretty low price. But when you couple that with, you have to get 3 oil changes in the year because the oil is only good for 5,000 to 6,000 miles. Well, that equates to 3 oil changes in a year compared to the 15,000 miles that the Amsoil is going to get you. And the overall cost for the Amsoil and the filter and shipping was only about $65 to $70 with their program that they have. So I spent $70 on an oil change. Again, I did it myself, but even if you didn't do it yourself, you're gonna spend $40 3 times a year. That's $120, and that's if you can find a full synthetic oil change for $40, which I highly doubt you will be able to. So the cost savings just on the oil changes alone, to me, warrants using the oil. I'm not losing anything as far as protection or reliability or performance or anything like that. Because like I said, this vehicle is almost 130,000 miles on it, and the engine still running really good. I had the oil sent off at about 110,000 miles and it came back perfect. And that was after running the Amsoil for 12,000 miles. All right, 5.7 quarts added. All right, once you've completed adding the oil, you can go ahead and remove the engine oil fill funnel. Reinsert the oil fill cap. All right, we've made our way inside the vehicle. We're going to do our oil light reset and our pressure check. So to do the oil light reset, you just power on the car, push start stop button 1 time. Over on the left menu, click through the warnings, scroll over and down to settings, vehicle, oil life reset. And when you get to this screen, you'll simply push and hold OK until the bar fully completes and it says 100%. And that's how you do the oil light reset procedure in a 2015 Ford Fusion. Next, we're going to do our pressure check. So in order to do that, simply start the vehicle. Let it come to an idle. And then exit the vehicle and look under it. All right, we're looking under the vehicle. We're looking for any signs of leaks. And there goes my dog. Don't see any, so that's a good sign. Now we'll just make our way back into the vehicle and shut it off. All right, now that we've completed our pressure check, I'll go ahead and check the oil level, make sure the oil level is full. Again, move dipstick, wipe off all the oil residue, flush with the engine, pull out. You can see this is right at the full mark, just filling inside this upper sight glass. And that completes an oil change on a 2015 Ford Fusion with the 2-liter EcoBoost engine. I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to the channel for more content. See you on the next one.